Welcome to the Real CP Show. I'm your host, CP. And today's topic, this violent Hatchet Assailant Woman, white Hispanic version, domestic violence abuser in America. She struck her boyfriend while he was sleeping. And I'm like this. How many more victims of domestic abuseness, male victims of violent domestic abuse assailant women? How many more victims, being males, does it take for more males to stop accepting the minimization of violence against males by numbers of women? What is going to take? So like in this topic today, this violent type of Hispanic woman was sitting there already planning to, however it goes. And she had a hatchet. First of all, let me show a picture. Give me a second here. Just keep this in mind, what she was using. Yes, keep that in mind right there. So this violent type of woman who attacked her boyfriend while he was sleeping with this hatchet, this type of hatchet. And for how many people that are listening to this show today didn't even hear too much about this newsness on this, right? Now, if this was vice versa and a man had did that, it would have been outrage and what are we going to do to protect women, right? See how that little disgusting tactic goes. So as you see on this particular picture, this is the after picture after she put on 2 or 3 coats of paint. This is the before picture. Now, this is a whole different topic in itself, right? And that should be a law against deception for this kind of witchcraftness, right? How many males continue to keep falling for this 2 or 3 pounds of 2 or 3 paint coats of war paint that numbers of women put on their faces on this situation, right? How many times? So let me go ahead and share my screen on this story. Make sure you can see this. I'll make sure one more time. All right. This woman is accused of striking her boyfriend in the head with a hatchet as he slept. And one of the witnesses said it was like hearing the sound of splitting wood. What? Lena de Oliveira was arrested and charged with attempted murder days after this alleged incident. All right, see the face? How many males would fall for this face and, oh, she's angelic, and behind her eyes is a murderer, right? But then at the same time, you hear some pseudo excuses for what she might have kind of done that. But keep that in mind, if it was vice versa, if it was a male, there is no excuses then, isn't it? A North Dakota woman was arrested and charged with attempted murder after enforcement alleged she attacked her boyfriend with a hatchet while he slept. The alleged incident took place in Fargo, North Dakota on September the 5th, 2025. Today is December the 10th, 2025. While a third man told enforcement he witnessed the attempted murder, the domestic violence against that male. The witness said he saw his friend's girlfriend swing the hatchet and it sounded like splitting wood when she allegedly struck her boyfriend who survived. A North Dakota woman has been arrested and charged with attempted murder after authorities allege he tried to unalive him with a hatchet as he slept. The alleged incident, which happened in Fargo, North Dakota on September the 5th, reportedly left her boyfriend with a large slice in his head and multiple fingers hanging off his hand, according to the court documents cited by local news outlets. The outlets reported that another man was at the house when the alleged incident occurred and was a witness to what happened. The man told enforcement he saw Lena Dio Oliveira delivering a blow with a hatchet, adding that she seemed to be out of it during the alleged attack. He looked and saw Lena, the violentness person in human, swing down with the hatchet. He couldn't see the point of the strike due to obstructions, but heard it sound like splitting wood. Initially, she hit the headrest or headboard. The witness told enforcement, according to the court documents cited by such and such this entity on this part. The witness reportedly told enforcement Dio Oliveira appeared to have come to after hearing a click from the footrest on a nearby recliner chair and seeing blood around her, leading her to quickly flee the scene. Authorities said she was arrested 2 days later in Moorhead, Minnesota, which is only about a mile away. But at the same time, right? Just believe women, right? And unfortunately, this is how certain types of males, when they hear stories about domestic abusing, violent type women, this is how certain type of men, this is how various pro-women organizations, various types of domestic abuseness organizations, pro-woman versions, this is what they do when stories like this are shown, which is unfortunately still not enough shown of men being victims of domestic abuse by violent type women. This is how numbers of people do.
Oh, brings it here into the bedroom. Oh, I see nothing. I was not here. I did not even get up this morning.
It's not funny, but that's what certain numbers of people do, right? But at the same time, if you hear something about a woman sitting there and say, "Oh my goodness, help, help, this man," watch this, like this. Oh, most men will come running so fast, right? But when it's vice versa, when it's the woman being violent toward the males, again, you'll have numbers of men that do this.
Oh, brings it here into the bedroom. Oh, I see nothing. I was not here. I did not even get up this morning.
Before I play this other particular video, I want to play this particular video, should I say. This is another picture. Now, keep that in mind, what I showed you a little earlier, right? Or what I read earlier, right? So when she got arrested and things like this, now this is what her having 3 or 4 paints, or 2 or 3, 4 or 5 paints of war paint on, right? Again, that should be, outlawed, right? On that, because that's deception. Lena Dio Oliveira. Hi, I am the lovely Lena. I am 23 years old. I am currently on vacation. Do you see these little weird demonic words they use? She's on vacation in Cass County Jail in North Dakota and need a special someone and distract me from this place. Build something with me and spoil me with some coffee and jail snacks. I promise I can hold a great conversation and keep you entertained for days. Nutty Buddy bars and honey buns are the quickest way to my heart. Text message with me and set up a video date with me in my cell at such and such. And there will be guys, and there are guys that are sitting there right now, probably texting her or video conferencing her right now. This is why collectively most women cannot respect many males, especially within America, because many males lead with their private area and not logic, unfortunately. So let me share my screen on this for this last particular video.
The girl you see here smiling ear to ear is accused of a brutal crime. She's under arrest for allegedly trying to kill her sleeping boyfriend with a hatchet. We have the story behind this mugshot that has since gone viral, and there is a lot to unpack. We're on the case, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. There's never really a right face to make in a mugshot, because a mugshot is typically being taken at one of, if not the lowest point in somebody's life. But this mugshot has gone viral because of the expression you see on this woman's face. It is the kind that we typically don't see, even with how often we cover stories that involve mugshots here at Law and Crime, and also in cases where the allegations that someone is facing are just so gruesome. Now, the girl you see in this photo smiling is Lena D'Oliveira. This is her booking photo from the Cass County Jail in North Dakota. That's where Fargo is. D'Oliveira is facing charges for what police say happened around 5:30 in the morning on September 5th. And these are pictures from her Facebook page. She's 23 years old. And this is a picture of the detached garage, the alleged scene of the crime. This is where police say this attack allegedly took place. Now, police were called to this garage in Fargo early in the morning on September 5th, and they found D'Oliveira's boyfriend with significant injuries and a trail of blood leading to the garage where all of this allegedly happened. Now, it appears much of this case is based on an eyewitness who says he saw everything. He's a man who was also staying in this detached garage where D'Oliveira and her boyfriend were allegedly staying as well.
See, look at that. And by the way, he says, oh, the picture of the girl. She's not a girl. She's a woman. So you got to watch the terminology. And look at her looks. When she's painted up with 2 or 3, 4 pounds war paint, she's not bad looking, right? And many numbers of males would fall for this right here. Talking about the ones who would do that. And you saw a show at the initial podcast beginning how she looked without the war paint. Plain, super average.
Her media outlet Inform. And this is where this story gets disturbing and the details can get gory. The man said he woke up on September 5th around 5:30 in the morning and he heard D'Oliveira's boyfriend screaming. And he says that he allegedly saw D'Oliveira behind her boyfriend swinging a hatchet. He said he didn't see the impact being made, but he described the sound like, quote, splitting wood. The man said D'Oliveira's boyfriend's fingers were missing and he saw blood and a massive mark through the man's skull, allegedly from that hatchet. And he said that it sounded like the hatchet was hitting the headboard of a bed based on the sound. Now, when police arrived, they couldn't find D'Oliveira. That witness said that she was homeless, that she had been staying at different homes in the area, as well as the detached garage where all of this allegedly happened. Now, before I get into how law enforcement tracked D'Oliveira down, it is clear from her social media that she faced challenges. And this is important context in understanding the story and this suspect. And it is shocking, not just the allegations that she's facing, but shocking because it appears this year that she had been on the up. Here's a post from April 8th when she said, quote, did somebody get sober? Promise she'll look good on you. Then on April 14th, she made this long post about how she was taking accountability and getting treatment. She recognized she, quote, made poor decisions in my whole life and getting help was one of the best decisions she had ever made, quote, for my children and I. In this post, she talked about how she struggled with substance abuse, but that she was taking it on head on.
That's enough of that. See, now look, see these pictures right here? Look at that little slim body, right? Things like that. Oh, numbers of males will fall for that real fast, right? And how many would, no, we're going to all that. See, this is the kind of stuff, again, various types of women within America relating to this topic. They know, again, that quite a number of males are smitten by only looks only. Right? And the thing about it is, I had to stop that because it's going to get to go into various types of, oh, well, I mean, she was, she was going through some stuff and, getting hooked on some, drug and stuff. No, don't want to hear all that. Right? If this was a man and he sit there and did that to a woman, and well, he was hooked on meth and he was having problems and stuff, they don't want to hear all that. Right? And it's something about, see, I got to get away from emotionalism, right? The system knows, right by feminists, right? Which is also some of the most dangerous type of propaganda, right? That they utilize, especially toward numbers of males. Let's say, well, they know how to sit there and get more males emotional evolved, right? Oh, we got to help the women. We got to help the women. But when it concerns dealing with what you going to do about helping men that are domestic abuse victims? Nothing. And unfortunately, there are numbers of males who are domestic abuse victims, I'm just relaying, that still would do more for women than do for males. That is some sickness type stuff. And this is what numbers of feminists do when they got gullible type males who sit there and talk more about women's issues than talk about men's issues. This is what they do. Sadness. And this is why I have to say, unfortunately, that my estimation is that because of the gullibility and naiveness of millions of males within America, I'm not talking about the ones who do understand, right? That don't count. They know it's not enough of males that truly understand masculinity and stop trying to lead with their private head, right? Instead of the logic, right? In dealing with relationships. On that, just like this last part right here.
I bought you a little present.
You did? Well, where is it, honey?
Here, dear. I bought you a little present.
You did? Well, where is it, honey?
Here, dear.
This is why, again, I didn't finish, I guess the last relaying information I was about to say is it because of, unfortunately, not enough strong masculinity men, and because it's been dwindling in America for about a couple of generations, because unfortunately, it's too many other males that are not practicing masculinity. And for that, and then who is going to pay even more? The young boys that are growing up. They're going to pay. Because even now, how many young boys are being abuseness by young girls? And they grew up with that same abuseness mentality toward young males, and they grew up abusing adult males who sit back and overall and take it. And because of that, and there is no demand on politicalness collectively, there's no demand on people to saying, hey, men are domestic abuse victims as well. This one-sided, extremely misogynistic, very smart society has got to change over, right? It's like 90 gigantic % of domestic abuse facilities are primarily for women. But it's been shown again, again, for the people who don't know that women are just as violent, and other instances more violent than numbers of males. And this is why I say because of numbers of gullible type males and some naive type males once applies to that are not sitting there and again utilizing logic and sitting there saying enough of this one-sidedness within America toward males. That male masculinity is going to be at the vortex of no return in probably about less than 2 generations. I thank you for tuning in to the Real CP Show.